Right guys, sorry I haven't really done a video in a long time. Well, long time in terms of my uploads. Like I've said in the past before, my uploads are sporadic. Well, I haven't said that technically in the past, but what I meant to say is my uploads are irregular. I don't essentially like to always do day-to-day uploads, but sometimes I do like to do back-to-back day loads. Like, I've kind of grown into it now, okay? It's kind of something I like, but then again, I don't like it all the time because it's just getting pointless. And in other YouTube news, apparently I've gone up to 32 subscribers. So yeah, that's happened. Although, like, I'm not gonna criticize anyone here because I believe in free will. You should be able to do what you want. I'm just making this as a pure observation because I was doing this just today because I do like to check on the channel's progress. Like, again, I want to let it go naturally. I don't want to force anyone to do on it anything on it. I'm not gonna force anyone to like my videos or whatnot. I'm not gonna force anyone to like, comment, rate on my videos, blah blah blah. Like, I may say, oh, this, and this, but it's all your choice. You should have the free will to say, actually, I want to like this video because I thought it was good, or actually, I want to hate it. I actually want to give it a thumbs down because I thought the video was bad. It's your choice. Again, free will. But apparently, less people have been viewing my videos recently. Again, you all have lives to live outside of YouTube. I just thought I'd make that observation that viewer numbers on my videos are sort of dropping. Again, you know, you have your own lives, so I can't constantly expect to live in this YouTube world. You know, I have to go out onto the real world and live my own life from day to day, and sometimes I just go away from my laptop for days. Or sometimes, although when I get back, I'll probably just load up Steam and start playing Battlefield 2. I have really been getting into Battlefield 2 as well as Counter-Strike, although I've been getting more into Battlefield 2 because every time I log into Counter-Strike now, no one seems to be playing the SOCOM mods anymore, so I don't get that. But anyway, what was I going to talk about? Ah yes, well, you've seen the title of the video is PS3. Now, two things here. Now, the other day I completed the Need for Speed Carbon campaign on PS3. Like, I have a love for the classic Need for Speed games, and what I mean by classic is early noughties, late 90s, like when, like what we know as the arcade kind of like Need for Speed, where it's constantly set in the city, but which for some reason doesn't have to obey the laws of time, so time never progresses. It has a cheap story. Well, it does say cheap. It has a cheesy storyline, but it's it's a good but cheesy storyline. Anyway, I completed Carmen the other day, and I have come to find that that game actually has more life once you've completed it, because you get 5 new cars when you complete the game, and then you just have other factions just trying to take up your territory. Then you gotta assert your dominance. I lost one little bit in one district, and if I'm not careful, they're just gonna take all of my city back. So I've been playing that for a bit, and there's a couple of timed events, challenge events that I've probably figured probably doing live. Like, there's this really challenging one where it's a checkpoint race down a canyon run. If you've ever played this game, you'll probably know how difficult the canyon runs are. There's a checkpoint race down a canyon run with the BMW M3 GTR from Most Wanted. That car is a nightmare to handle. It's quick off the line. It's quick, and it is quick off the line like a bar of hell as soon as you hit the R2 button, and that's it, your car's just flying. But then it's difficult to control. So it's proved to be a very annoying challenge. Like, I think I completed it once, but I wanted to play it again just to challenge myself, and I found I was getting quite angry at it. So that annoyed me. So naturally, I just went back to the campaign, and one of the cars you unlock at the end of the game is a Nissan Skyline GTR, which made my heart sing when I saw that. Because I have a true love for this car. I don't know why. Like, I like cars, but I hate the fact that, you know, just driving them releases CO2, and you have to fuel cars by drilling up oil from the earth. So you essentially have to drill the earth, plunder the earth of natural resources, and then you're contributing to global warming by driving a car. So I love cars, but then again, I know the major down effects of cars. So it's just like, still, I don't know why I love them. But anyway, I love this car particularly. I've expressed I've expressed to people like why I love this car. I first saw it in I originally saw this car in Too Fast, Too Furious. That's a decent movie. Like, it's a good movie. Good way to pass the time, although I sort of hated how they tried to interlink it with the main story instead of like sort of saying, right, Brian went off, did his own thing, blah 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 blah, instead of having him come back. But then again, we wouldn't have had Fast and Furious 4, and then 5, and then jumping off the cliff at 6 and 7. But nonetheless, I love the car itself. I think it's actually a cool car. And I've honestly considered if I was to ever actually start driving a car, like if I was to ever take a driving test and get a car, I would actually want this as my first car. Decent boot size. If you know what you're doing with cars, you can trick this out. So anyway, I basically just tuned up this Nissan Skyline in Need for Speed Carbon, and I've just been thinking, you know, maybe a different racing game, like gradual steps, the crew, Need for Speed Carbon, then just go completely wacky and insane with something like Wipeout, which I can't even understand and could probably give someone seizures. I'm not saying I suffer from seizures, I'm just saying if someone who likely suffers from seizures ever dares play that game, they face the full consequences of their actions. Although it's kind of unfair to judge on that way. Anyway, so Need for Speed Carbon may be something. Maybe I'll have a little bit think about it. But in other news, now I was sitting in school, you know, just doing some work. Well, I say doing some work. I wasn't really doing that much work, but I was still doing some work. That's what counts. That's what counts. And my brother decides to text me on his phone. Like, because for some reason, like, I'm recording this on a Wednesday, so this will give him more context, but every Wednesday, every 2 weeks, he gets the day off. I don't know why, and I'm gonna call complete and utter rigged on that. That is rigged, rigged. Anyway, so he gets Wednesdays off. So he just starts texting me, like saying, what you do? Like, do you know where I've been? And like, I replied just like, where? He's just like, I wanted to felt, you know, gets the stuff. He says, do you want to know what I've got? And I was just like, what? GTA 5 Next Gen. He says, that's a good shout, but no, Sniper Elite V2. And I was just like, damn, son. Damn, that's a good game. And I was just like, how much did you get it for? He's just like, guess. And I just said, what was it, used or unused? Used. He got the game for £9, an unused copy of Sniper Elite V2 for £9. He ordered it on Amazon and it's coming Tuesday. Mate, this game is literally Mortal Kombat if it was a shooter but very sneaky. It's almost like a mixture between the original Assassin's Creed and Mortal Kombat. Why? Because in Mortal Kombat's fatalities, you know, you get X-rays of the bones and the organs getting punched, smashed. But obviously, you have to be stealthy. Well, you don't have to be stealthy, but it's more advised to be stealthy. So, and I like killing virtual Nazis. Okay, there's just something about it, especially in Europe, just running, just sleuthing around empty, bombed Eastern European cities with a sniper rifle, finding a nice perch to sit up and just picking off Nazis one by one, by one, by one, by one, and so starts a weird psychotic murder nature complex in my head. Anyway, I was thinking, he was also thinking about purchasing the Assassinating Hitler DLC, and I believe there is a zombie DLC that he was also thinking about purchasing. I could possibly do one of the three. Should I do Jew going after Hitler? You know? A bit ironic. Try and get the ultimate testicle shot on him? Should I just try and kill some Nazis? Or should I do third-person Nazi zombies if I was going to do this game as videos? I'm not sure. I'll brainstorm some ideas, see what I come up with. I'll assess the ideas, whether I like them or hate them, and I'll see if I can proceed with said ideas. Now, final little news bit. If this was like a news video, you just see a bunch of ramblings going on the screen at the bottom. But anyway, final bit of news. Next week marks the beginning of the exams. That's it. From next week onwards, I am under exams. Although strangely enough, I have exams this week and next week. Then on the 4th of June, I then have my maths exam, and I nearly flipped my car because that is how we do it. But anyway, I have my maths exam on the 4th of June, and then on the 8th of June, because you have to split it between a calculator and a non-calculator paper. I think I got my non-calculator first. Anyway, so exams are literally next week. So we'll see what happens. Will I pass my A-levels? Will I show... Basically, I'll tell you this little story. I essentially had to beg my teachers for me to stay, because everyone kept telling me, oh, we expect to see you back here, we expect to see you back here, like, because they all believed I had that I could get the grades I need to stay on. And I didn't get the grades. I looked around at colleges on the day of application. I looked at 2 colleges and they're, what's it? Oh crap, the little booklets they hand out. Anyway, and none of the courses interested me, so I just had to come back to the school on the day the new term started and just beg them that the next day I would come in and start 6th form. And I essentially had to say I was going to prove everyone wrong that said I couldn't take these courses and pass. Will I do that? Who knows? Who knows? That's up for fate to decide now. But anyway, we're coming to the end of this long drive. We've ended up in the south, and obviously I'm just going to cut off the motorway and speed towards the finish line. Obviously, I hope you've enjoyed listening to this, and like I said, next week exams, so there's gonna be nothing. I'm literally gonna be silent. I'm gonna be a ghost, man. This channel's gonna die essentially, and then I'm gonna have to fucking resurrect it with defibrillators. Anyway, end of the video, end of the race. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, I'll probably think about what I want to do after the exams, and remember exams, so